It's the deal.
Yo, Spider Loke, what's popping with you, G's?
What's happening, my good people? What's happening?
So, Loke,
Mikey T, Maybach Dice. What's happening?
Was good.
welcome to the channel, Spider Loke, man. You, my friend, you have gone and taken over the internet community, G's. From back in the day when they were asking about you on This Is 50 to when you was telling 50 about the whole marketing behind the internet. Now you've really come into your own on your YouTube platform. Everybody needs to go subscribe to the Loke if you are not. But yeah, Loke, I want to ask you, man. I was just asking Dice. Do you think 50 was feeling it when the Massacre drop did the 1.1 million and then he dropped Curtis and it did 691,000 because he's talking about having a lot of pressure for releasing a full body of work.
The thing is that the general public is not aware of is the source of and the lack thereof when it comes to 50 Cent's success musically is the same element. And it's his relationship with Interscope Records / Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre. This is what we've seen as far as his successful efforts versus his not so successful efforts. Now, being it has been a decade that he's been irrelevant musically, and he's established himself on the other side of entertainment through cinema. The way you guys were discussing the fact that he's intertwined the music with the film, he's become a little more relevant in general, and he may have a different shot musically than he had 10, 12 years ago when we saw the decline in success. The success that he experienced initially was less associated with his performance and more associated with the machine. And the lack of success is directly associated with the relationship that deteriorated with the machine versus him getting better or worse, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
No, it's like how Charlemagne brought up the fact that Beyonce could move 300,000 units this day and age. If we remember back to 2012, 50 did 50,000 units with Animal Ambition.
There was a time when 50 and I were casual and cordial enough for us to be having a telephone conversation. And I don't know, I can't recall what sparked this line of conversation, but I can recall him telling me in reference to Interscope, the machine, him telling me this, like, look, B, we'll never go out and make no bullshit on purpose. But he was like, just in case we happen to shoot a dud, we're good. Because it's not about the content, it's about the machine. This is the education I was receiving from him as a student of the game and him being somebody that was more advanced. This is the education he was giving me when we had nothing but love and positivity early on. This is what I learned, that no matter, you see how far the range of quality of material when it comes to successful records. The shit you love the most and the shit you can't stand have equal opportunity of being successful. Some of the garbage has more of an opportunity. So what I'm trying to tell you is, from way behind the scenes, being established in the industry, I was told by a higher power, 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, that it's less about the quality of our content and more about the establishment of our connection. And that's what anything is about. If you think about capitalism, America, industries, corporations, it's less about the quality of your actual product, as long as it's not just bullshit. After you have a decent product that's presentable, everything else after that is about networking, connections, promotion, marketing, and being aggressive in the actual arena where the competition exists.
Yeah, and Spider, it proved that 50 wasn't right because Before I Self Destruct would come out and do 160,000 units. You know what I mean? And let's be real. This album actually featured a single with R. Kelly, the guy that 50 had dissed many years prior. So the whole world was literally waiting for 50 Cent to rekindle that relationship after dissing him on the 8 Mile soundtrack.
This proves the point. The relationship with the distributor, I'll go personal and say Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre, as well as Interscope. remember at one point he was Curtis Interscope Jackson. As when he was feeling the height of his success and his confidence, he included Interscope in his name to kind of represent why I'm on top. The reason why the success ceased was based on the fact he no longer possessed the confidence or the actual past to claim himself as Mr. Interscope. That's what happened. Just think about it. People like Chris Brown, Justin Timberlake, Rihanna. Who did you just mention a collab with?
Well, are you talking about Interscope artists?
No, you just mentioned a record that he did with someone in particular.
Damn.
Don't worry, it'll come to you. Look, just think about it. At his height, he placed Mary J. Blige alongside Hot Rod. What I'm trying to show you is he was standing next to even to Snitch Nine Takuchi. He stood right next to the hottest artists available over and over again, right down to YG, Nipsey Hussle. He went all the way to the West Coast. When they began to pop, he was doing records with them. What I want to point out is he continued to do records with people who everything they dropped was hitting on radio. And as soon as they collab with him, the record went under the radar. From Rihanna to Chris Brown. What's the song he got? Who's the Man? With him and Chris Brown. The shit hard. If you just go for like, you know, just
on the Jeremiah record, the other one that he had. I think he had a record with Jeremiah that was actually all over the radio. I'm the Man didn't get as much play.
But I'm the Man is a record. If you have no personal dislike for anybody on the record, it's a record you can readily accept. It should work.
But it didn't.
It didn't work. He
had another one with Eminem and Adam Levine, My Life. It didn't work as well. You can blame it on SMS as much as you want, but these records where 50 was embracing the pop artist, they just didn't really work like that.
So what I'm pointing out is the reason for the lack of success has a lot to do with, if not everything to do with, his relationship with the higher ups, bro, to put it, blankly.
Loke, I didn't get to talk to you about this yesterday. Before I bring the guys back in, I want to ask you about the Game actually dissing Eminem, the real Black Slim Shady, the Black Slim Shady. It dropped on his Drillmatic album. What do you think about that? 10 minutes.
I think that Doja, a.k.a. the rapper named The Game, a.k.a. Jayceon Taylor, a.k.a. the Bitch Boy, along with his manager, Wacko No Honey, a.k.a. Cash Jones, the biggest queerdo clown on the internet, they've made their whole legacy and career based upon a name association and name dropping. They've never been able to express themselves as being anything worth paying attention to unless they can associate themselves with someone else. And I think that's just another extension of what Doja Game, the Bitch Boy, has been. He's been a name dropper. Even the name The Game, for those that don't know, according to him, he was in a bad position. He listened to every hip hop album that he possibly could. And then after he listened to all the albums, he visualized everything he heard. And he thought about a motherfucking wrestler named The Game who was kind of marketed behind being a kind of adaptation of all the other greats. And he came up with The Game. So that's who you're dealing with. So I'm not surprised that here it is, after you have raised grown children, grown man children, you feel comfortable not only running around doing Drink Champs interviews and complaining about or comparing which man has done the most for you in your life while your sons are watching. Your grown sons are watching you sum up your whole career and your whole existence about what man did the most for you, Kanye versus Dr. Dre. I'm not surprised here he is making that type of statement. I'm not surprised. It's just a pretty obvious description of his character. He corny as fuck. He's a game. Just think about it. As serious as real men are. And then when you think about hip hop, the worst thing you can be when it comes to seriousness in hip hop is whack or be a game. That's he's a game, he's a joke. A game is a joke. And then when it comes to hip hop, the shit that we all love, even you my brother, fuck the race, every shit. Your understanding and tap in a hip hop made us brethren before we ever met. Because yeah, just think about it though. You basically fall on the same side of issues I do based on your understanding of the culture. You didn't know me. You saw my journey. You saw how I applied myself. And the way you analyze things, you see them correctly. You know what I deserve versus, in the situation. So if
I
hip
see
hop,
some of your comments too, Loke, and I do appreciate you tapping
no,
in and you know what I mean, recognizing because not everybody's just going to tap in and say, "Yo, that's facts, Mikey T." But when somebody of your stature taps in, it shows people that not everybody has to fall back from giving somebody their flowers.
I want to share with you because at one point I watched one of your videos and the way you started off, your introduction, you were so casual. I thought you was about to clap for something that you actually clapped down. And you took me through a whole journey because you didn't just jump out there like anti what was against me. It was a subject related to me. I can't quite pinpoint it, but the way you introduced it, you spent about 10, 15 minutes just warming up what you was about to talk about. And you were so casual, I assumed you were about to agree with the position that it caused me to be intrigued. So I watched, like, man, what are you finna say? But
And
as
you
you
messed
actually
people
got
up.
into it, you took my side, and it was like, oh, whoa. And I grew an appreciation for what you do even more so than my previous association because it takes courage. A lot of people is trying to go on what's more popular, what, the more powerful voice is expressing. And when I saw you as a non-black, a neutral voice, having the courage to take a stand that was right versus popular, it was all respect, bro.
Sometimes you got to call things right down the middle. If there's something you like from one side, but you can call out things that you don't like from that side and vice versa. But before I bring the guys in from the Queen's crew, I want to ask you one more question in regard to M and Game, unless we go on to speak about it further in another episode. Does Eminem respond to this track? Does he have to?
Of course not. If Eminem was comfortable being the guy that has gotten the crown as the GOAT, and he was comfortable saying he went through his whole career without mentioning Suge, bro, look how Jay-Z did Game. He has been the epitome of begging for attention and acknowledgement from the greats and not receiving it. If Eminem chose after he was not included in the Super Bowl to respond now, it would just devalue the whole brand of what Eminem has established up until this point. Doja is a bottom feeder that has always begged for more attention than he deserved and received.
All right, I'm about to put up Spider Loke's IG. I'm about to pin it in the chat for not your IG, your YouTube.
Either or, please do. I appreciate it. It don't matter. I was trying to say this too. When I was doing the name association thing, when it comes to hip hop, I was saying we are kindred based on our appreciation and our upbringing in the culture of hip hop. It causes us to cross cultures without clashing. Hip hop is our immediate medium of connection, and
Yeah,
we both know the worst thing associated with hip hop is anything whack. You feel me?
right.
It's equal. It's simple. That's like the kindergarten of it. 1+1 is 2. Hip hop whack wrong.
My
Hip hop
boy
whack
Dice was
wrong.
just telling me. Dice was just telling me some shit like that the other day. Kind of speaking about how I'd be passionate. I think you were saying, Dice. And this is my bro Finesse. He's from Far Rock, New York.
Shout out to the whole panel. Both you, all three of the homies that I don't know. I'm just meeting. Look like it's gonna be
Yeah,
4 y'all.
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Spider Love, one more time.
Relly,
Shout out, big homie.
Yep, much love.
join in
What
when
we
you
on?
can, Relly. Finesse, I appreciate you tapping in tonight, bro. I've been rocking with these guys for a minute. But yeah, so Spider Loke, pretty much the topic we're addressing today is 50 Cent going on the Breakfast Club and saying that he is done carrying G Unit. Let's start it off with you, Spider. How did you react to this Breakfast Club interview? Did you watch it yet?
I didn't watch it, but just hearing that was something that was announced today, I'm curious. Not that I'm concerned, but the fact you brought it up, I'm curious as to what carrying has been going on in the last decade plus. I didn't realize he was carrying G Unit. I didn't know. So I don't. Just this is my thing, bro. Any grown man, I mean, anybody affiliated with G Unit, we know they're fully grown to a certain extent. Anybody in that stature that's looking for any other grown man to carry them, they're in a handicapped position in life, period. And that's not a position that no man should desire to be in.
Okay.
You know, the potential benefit from being associated even now with anybody that know 50 Cent, everybody can quantify the, you know, the value of doing a collaboration with 50 Cent, whether you're G Unit or a new unit. If you have some type of business venture collaborating with 50 Cent, there's an obvious value you can quantify to that. So the old cats, new cats, anybody, it's not surprisingly that anybody will be willing to do business with him. But for him to feel like all of a sudden there's a brand new announcement to make that he's not carrying G Unit, it speaks a lot to how empty his experiences in life must be. Who thought he was still carrying G Unit?
Very well said.
So, so yeah, Dice, respond to that. What Spider Look was saying, you know, about who was thinking anybody, the overall regard of people thinking that 50 Cent is carrying G Unit. The last time Young Buck and Lloyd Banks actually put out albums was 2006 and 2007. Well, actually, you know, Lloyd Banks had The Hunger for More too, as well. Welcome, Relly. Get your shit situated, man.
The word, Mikey T. My fault now. A couple phone calls called, you know.
You good?
None of those releases even affect the conversation. We're talking about all the successful apparent ventures that 50's been involved in since the G Unit shit. If you've been carrying G Unit, everyone with any common sense would assume you would have saw some participation, at least from Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo thoroughly. Come on, throughout the whole power. If power is the concept and you're the boss, you have the power to include. But instead, you know what we watched? We watched the groupie come out of 50 Cent. He hit the scene as the anti-groupie that don't give a fuck about nobody in the industry but himself. And he flipped the script and turned into a groupie and tried to associate himself with every possible celebrity that he could. He did a whole 180.
And you want to know what that was for, Spider? That was
Talk
because he noticed how it was hurting him by trying to go against everybody. He's seeing how that hurt him and it affected his whole music career, basically.
Yes.
And that's why he tried to flip like you said, flip the narrative and start speaking to everybody and try to do that.
But you know, I agree with you, but I think a little deeper, it was less about him wanting to be successful, because we cannot deny he's never ceased to be a successful entrepreneur, entertainer. No matter what we thought the music should do at any given point, he's never fell off. But I think him as a human personally wanted to be more accepted. He could have kept doing deals, being successful, being an asshole, but I think he wanted to be more included with his peers, and it was a personal. He wanted to be friends. All of a sudden, he running around with Trey Songz and doing goofy videos in a hotel about how many pictures.
You're right. I never look at it that way. That's a fact.
Yeah, he wanted to be included as a beloved, not just a successful person from the culture, but a beloved member of the culture. And he kind of like forfeited that early on. And I think down the line, he desired that. And what we saw him do, that was his campaign to try to acquire that.
Look, I do want to point out, 50 saying that he did more for G Unit than we saw Jay-Z do for a lot of the guys at The Rock. When it came to actually putting them in video games, he put Banks, Buck, you know what I mean? Yayo. I think Who Kid was even in the video game. The first one, at the very least, Who Kid was in. He got these guys their shoes. Yayo had the thumbprint on the shoe. Relly, I want to give you a chance to talk about that, man. Like the
wait, before he do, I just want to say, I don't give a fuck about none of that. He ain't do none of that for me, so that's cool. But go ahead.
Well, Loke, he could have possibly done that for you had not everything crumbled. Had there been a third G Unit video game that was more successful, maybe you would have popped up in there and been the West Coast connection.
Look.
He had a lot of chances.
E40 told me, you bet the shake and bake all that was fist tool ass niggas. You give a fuck what you was fished to do. It's about what you did, what you have done, or what you could have done. Don't matter. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Don't matter.
He could have did a lot for Spider. That's a fact.
Yeah,
Spider
and
was hot. Spider was the hottest. I think niggas got scared. Spider.
I've yet to submit a complaint officially or publicly. I'm just acknowledging the reality of what took place. I'm not complaining whatsoever.
Yeah, no cap.
Yeah, I know that you were supposed to get started with G Unit West. I was watching it all happen. We saw it unfold. The West kept secret. We were all hearing it, but then things didn't get followed up on. Relly, let me ask you about that though, man. With the whole thing with 50 putting them in video games, putting them with the clothing. You know what I mean? What's your take on all that?
I think that it was a good thing too. It was a good thing from them coming from Jamaica Queens and coming out, but still, that at the time that wasn't making a lot of money at the time. It was exposure, but that wasn't nothing. It was plenty of things even up until right now. He could still still do bringing them on tours and certain things. You know what I mean? But
the thing about it with the G Unit clothes and all that, the only perspective you ever get is 50's perspective, because for some reason everyone else associated refuses to give their own perspective. But if you think about it, I don't know the details of those deals because I wasn't involved. I didn't personally receive one. But obviously, because 50 was complaining about the way that the artist was supporting it, I assume they may have perceived that they was not committed to that deal. They may have been able to go out and get a deal in the fashion industry that was more lucrative for them. And I thought they may have viewed that as a limitation more so as a blessing. And his personality didn't allow room for that much expression. So he kept trying to tell the world, oh, they're not appreciating this deal. But the deal must have been small in the mind of the recipients to the point where they probably assume I'm on a level where I can go get a similar deal that makes more sense for me, but I'm not at liberty to do that because of this deal. That's what I would imagine.
Well, Spider, in that situation, when Lloyd Banks, we were talking about it yesterday. Nuts, you weren't tapped in. Yo, get your the audio situated, bro.
That's me?
No, that's not you, Lo. That was my homie. Oh, salute to the big homie. But so in regard to the money involved, Lloyd Banks said losing out on the sneaker deal, he was losing out on 200 to 250,000. Now, from the numbers that the number that 50 Cent was putting out there for their albums, they were getting a budget from Interscope for 750,000. So if you really weigh those, it's like, okay, you're getting paid 250,000 to wear a sneaker, maybe post it on any type of social media or wear it in a music video back then. On the other hand, you're getting paid $750,000 to complete a whole album. There's a lot that goes between that, Spider.
You cannot start breaking those mathematics based upon what one man said. No one else has chimed in and said that was the numbers agreed upon or anything. So you're taking your perspective based upon someone who is very interested in preserving his public image. So just if we take for granted those are the numbers, you're not even considering how long the term is for the 250. You're not considering what your obligations as an individual for receiving that 250 years, and you're making a comparison for this 750 with an album deal as if they're relative. And in this sense, I cannot correlate relativity between the two. I don't have enough information about them to say that they relate. I don't know. All I'm saying is, even if you know for a fact that one situation was worth 250, how can we rule out there wasn't a 1.2 million situation at Sean John? Are you aware of the fact that one of 50 Cent's and Game's early riffs was about the fact when once they released the documentary, before Game did a G Unit clothing campaign, he did a Sean John campaign. He was on Sunset Boulevard on a big ass billboard promoting Sean John clothing that had 50 hot as fuck. So
I don't think there's no denying. I don't think there's no denying the fact that $250,000 to a lot of people is a chump change deal when somebody could go out there and get
I didn't say that.
When somebody has some celebrity, they can go out and get a $2.2 million deal.
Perhaps.
And now, just sign this $250,000 deal because it's convenient.
But just think about it. If it's one dude getting $8 million for the whole pie,
80 million, Spider, he said.
Huh?
He said 80 million.
Okay, so
80 million.
if one guy's getting 80 million and he's giving a few guys 250,000, who gonna be satisfied with that?
Well, I mean, if they wouldn't have messed it up, I think that deal could have been, like you said, we don't
You
know.
can't wait. You gotta be careful before you jump out there and say if they wouldn't have messed it up. Who messed what up?
Well, I mean, like 50 said, they were wearing Louis Vuittons. Spider, you're a former G.
Wait, you gotta look. Anytime you base your perspective on like 50 said, you have to check yourself. Because all you know is what 50 said. That's not gospel. That's not Bible. That's not factual just because he said it. Just because there's nobody publicly challenging it does not mean it's true.
But what's your take on it, man? If you
I'm telling you my take. I perceive the possibility that whatever the financials were associated with those deals were not satisfactory to those that received it. And I perceive that they were aware, maybe even through Shaw Money or other people, Chris Lighty, that there was potentially way more lucrative situations available, bro. That does not make sense to you? What other label have you ever imagined in your life is going to commit an artist that could be a potential superstar to only wearing or promoting clothing that's associated with the fucking label versus wanting your artist to be able to make connections and collaborations with every other big corporation in every other field possible? Think about it.
So would you have worn the shoes if you were contracted to wear the shoes, Spider, or would you have been wearing Louis Vuittons?
Bro, I was wearing them without the check. I'm a different breed, bro. I'm a different breed, bro. I was getting on my mama cuz twice a month. I used to get like a shipment of shoes to show up to my house that I wasn't even looking for. Every color. My neighbors had them. Everybody I knew had them. I didn't give a fuck. Them niggas was in the contractual situations, not me. I was hoping for a deal to wear that shit on the set. You don't see this shit?
No, yo, Spider, I totally feel you 100%. You know, being an upcoming artist myself, I'm sure everybody in here feels you. When you get a deal, you know, we're all looking for a big deal, and then somebody comes, signs you to a $250,000 deal, and then you got somebody barking up your tree for a $2.5 million deal that you could have potentially got. You know,
every there's no other label in the world that you could perceive a conflict of interest from. You have a deal with the label, and then when you go to outsource other networking opportunities, typically the label does not present a conflict of interest. There is not a built-in clothing proposition, and any business deal should be just that, a proposition, not an obligation that you have no choice on tapping into. If the boss was thinking correctly, he would have been trying to get other artists that weren't signing him to do fashion deals other than his little homies that's G-Unit artists. Why not go after a Fabulous, a Jada Kiss, a fucking Nelly to do a G-Unit deal versus trying to force the people that are already under you to take this small fraction of this large deal you got? And they're just not dumb enough to sit there and act like they happy about it. And then when you get dissatisfied with their dissatisfaction, you go to the world and misrepresent what's actually going on.
Big homie, do you think he played a bully role? Pardon me, Mikey T. By the Loke, do you think he played a bully role in that one situation with the sneakers?
Look, that's a great question. You see how loyal Tony Yayo is to him, right? And you see neither of them would ever be comfortable discussing anything negative about each other ever. No matter what we both all been aware, they've been through ups and downs, neither of them would speak on it. So when you ask me about is there bulliness involved, think about 50 showing up and body slamming him in them bushes, cuz. They whole dynamic is bully involved, bro. I hate to tell you, but Tony Yayo's has some of the softest, smoothest hands I ever shook in my life. On my mama. They feel so non-masculine. And then you just imagine everybody on this panel, think about being surprised and anybody you know picking you up and body slamming you in the bushes like that, if you don't really doing, you know that's not gonna be the end of it. We got to do another round of something, right? As a
We got
man,
to do another round. Yeah, we got to get a fake.
another round of something. So if you don't think bully influence is involved in the fact that Lloyd Banks, hip hop, not one individual, hip hop itself, crowned him the punchline king, and you think Lloyd Banks, as a man, would not desire to be more vocal about his experience in hip hop? Just think about it.
That's a fact.
Think about it. 50 ain't never got no motherfucking crown from hip hop like the punchline king. You was a beneficiary of magnificent marketing, and you were a victim of a horrific crime that you survived, and great marketing and a horrific, traumatic, victimizing event was put together, and you experienced success. You got shot 9 times and you made it. There ain't nothing really gangster about that the way it was marketed, but because of the mental level of the consumer base and what's easily to sell from a Hollywood entertainment perspective, it was perfect. You bumped into some real gangsters, got extremely victimized, and then you were rewarded by bumping into some entertainment giants. And now it's from that was the story.
Crazy. That's a crazy breakdown right there. I got to give a shout out to Ant Learn. He says he actually agrees with me. There's a few people out here who agreeing with me on this point right here. 50 didn't have to give them dudes those deals. Jay didn't do it. Birdman didn't do it. But I do agree with Spider Loke in saying that they should have been able to go out there and command their own deals as well. Spider, when 50 came back and told Buck and Banks and Yayo that he was no longer dealing with Shaw Money XL and that they needed to go get new management, any of those artists should have been able at that point to go out and get the hottest manager in the game to work with them.
Once again, you are basing your perspective on trusting what 50 said.
No. I'm basing it on the fact that Lloyd Banks was a 3 times platinum artist. He moved 500,000 in a week.
So look, your fucking general common sense should tell you, regardless of how free 50 Cent tried to say anybody was, nobody was that free behind the scenes, bro.
Well, he said go get new management from Shaw Money XL.
You keep quoting what he said. He will say anything, bro. You gotta erase what he said.
Young Buck has confirmed this though, Spider, and he was like,
Young Buck said he's not in love with Greg.
I want to go on.
The only individual associated with any of this that you can't say bit his tongue and told a lie is me. Maybe Lloyd Banks too, because he don't speak much. And then Tony Yayo only tells one story. But nigga, don't fuck what Young Buck said. Fuck what 50 said. They lying.
That nigga Lloyd Banks a quiet nigga.
He a quiet nigga. He's very selective about when he speaks. And I can't do nothing but respect that. However, for you to keep quoting what 50 said, it devalues your understanding, your position. Because that's only what he has said. That's all it is.
Are you denying, Spider, if you came out and you sold 440,000 units in a week, you would have been able to go out and get whatever agent the music and the Hollywood business had to offer. That's the fact.
So when you see Lloyd Banks not being able to do that, it tells you there's something unnatural in the process.
It tells me that these guys messed up their careers.
No, don't be that naive. It tells you that the guy in control was that controlling. He was a limiter. He was blocking. Let me tell you, I am aware of the R&B artist Joe sending a record to G Unit for Young Buck to collab on, and Young Buck was not aware. 50 became aware. He did the verse and sent it back, and it got released like that. And he didn't tell Buck that it was initially for him until Joe cleared it and put it out. That type of shit, homie.
First type of shit.
Look, even though you keep throwing up Jay-Z and his relationship with his artists to compare, how many artists have you seen create a bigger artist than them outside of Dr. Dre?
A bigger artist than 50?
Any artist that
Or
became
Jay-Z.
successful, who has created an artist bigger than them?
Oh, okay. Who has
Thank
created?
you. Thank you. Let me tell you something about
a
50
bigger
Cent.
artist
50
bigger
Cent
than
has
them?
said 50 Cent has told us for years the reason why he doesn't play sports is because he cannot really deal with going out giving his best performance, but not winning based upon somebody else's performance. That's why the only sport he could
Y'all was
ever get
breaking up.
into was boxing. So boxing, he felt like it's on me only. But team sports is not his thing. He's expressed this over and over and over again.
Berg Bucks was bracking, cuz.
What up, Berg? Appreciate you.
I know. Wait. The fuck? Where am I at? I know this nigga to say what's bracking, cuz.
Yo, what's cracking?
What does that mean? What's bracking, cuz? Who said that?
Dice.
What's
Ain't
cracking?
nobody say
I
what's
said
cracking.
that. I'm a blood saying what's cracking to the cuz, you heard?
Oh, okay. What's bracking, cuz?
Yo, Spider, what's cracking?
Yeah, you
That's my
stupid.
bro.
Much love, though. Yep. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm not gonna be here too much longer, but if anybody got a question for me, I'm ready for the questions.
So it's interesting.
I got one for the big homie. Go ahead, Mikey.
It's interesting that you brought up Tony Yayo, Spider, because Yayo was the next point of this Breakfast Club conversation. 50 said Yayo is a different animal. If he does something wrong, I don't care what magnitude. He will look and he will go, my bad. And then you're like, all right. And we'll just keep going until the next time he does something wrong. That's our relationship.
I
What do you
understand that. I understand that, acknowledge that, and accept that. And I also want to iterate, I'm keeping it a Google. A lot less time than him and Tony Yayo have spent together. From my perspective, I had established the same understanding.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure anybody really has homies like that, though, that can pretty much
look. I promise you, cuz I did not, as goofy as it might look, I didn't do this without really thinking I had established that type of connection with a real nigga. You feel me? He had me convinced that the connection was bigger than the industry and all that. You feel me?
Oh,
I wanted to ask big homie, from then to now, what would you change?
The only thing I can grab and say that I would change, I probably wouldn't have did this on Crip, on my mama. I probably wouldn't have did this. But on top of that, there was a point in time early on in my experience with 50 when I was approached by Troy Carter, Sanctuary Management, who was quite, almost equivalent, if not, they were competitive with like a Violator management. I just wasn't really up on them. And when he approached me to try to represent me as a manager, I became aware he was also representing Fat Joe. And based on, 50 dynamic with Fat Joe at the time, I was apprehensive. I didn't just jump on the invite because I wanted to make sure it was going to be cool with 50 and all that. And by the time I took my time to figure that out and tried to double back on him, he expressed less interest in even fucking with me because I didn't jump on it. And after he invited me to fuck with him, at that time he had the Boost Mobile campaign. Ludacris, Fat Joe, Jeezy, Game, when they did the Boost Mobile commercials, that was his shit. At the same time, he was managing Eve. He told me while Eve was filming that TV show, which was current back then, he was like, as our manager, I get $30,000 a week. And after I didn't have a successful relationship with him, he went on to not only find The Weeknd, the artist, he also founded Lady Gaga and also a co-founder in Uber. So if I would do, if anything I would do different, I would jump on his invitation and I would have rolled with him on my mama.
That's lit. Yo, before anybody else, guys, Finesse, Iceberg, Dice, if you wanted to get a question to the Loke, I wanted to ask you, Spider, since you brought up that endorsement that they all had, can you remember the Pepsi freestyle that y'all did?
I didn't bring up the endorsement. I replied to it being brought up. But what about the freestyle?
What about that Pepsi freestyle? That wasn't it the Pepsi freestyle that all of G-Unit was involved in?
Yeah, I remember that day. Like,
It was lit.
I vaguely remember details from that day. I stumbled across the clip online every now and then. I can just remember being like told that very shortly you're gonna need to do a freestyle and mention Pepsi and I think Yahoo. And I remember basically everybody else took a verse they already had in their head and kind of changed it and put Yahoo and Pepsi in it. And if I recall correctly, I'm the only nigga that went off the dome and tried to force Yahoo and Pepsi in my verse. But we was on the rooftop in New York. There's a lot of like cameras and white folks around. That moment was way bigger than me. I just could recall that being one of the moments that had my heart beating and excited to be a part of hip hop.
Yeah, that shit was lit. Did that play on television or was it an internet thing?
From what I can recall, its biggest placement was on internet, but I think it was an MTV. It may have been on TV to some degree. I'm not sure though. I don't want to, confirm or deny it.
Oh yeah, man. But Dice, Ness, Berg.
Yeah, I gotta. First off, Kraken C4.
For Def though, my low.
Second off, from me looking in from the outside, I wanted to know when you was a part of the team or whatever. Who made you like write the hardest? Like when you was around them, like who made you like damn like bro bars is crazy. I gotta go in when I get on a track with him.
Of course, complexity, Lloyd Banks, but when it comes to creativeness, 50 has a sense of creativeness that's kind of hard to match. But Lloyd Banks, when it comes to complexity and construction of like syllables and rhymes, of course. So you somewhere in between trying to be as creative as 50 and as dope and complex as Lloyd Banks.
Heard you.
Well said.
Oh yeah. Ness, did you have one you wanted to get in, bro? Ness, you're on mute, bro. Or something. No, you're not on mute. You got to log back in, bro.
His mic fucked up.
Yep. You did have one super chat question here from Ant Lean. He actually had one for you. He said, Spider, was you upset because 50 chose to push Hot Rod and not you, even though that you were on the soundtrack? You know what I mean? And I want to bring up the point that even though it was starting to get filtered in, you were on Thoughts of a Predicate Felon in 05, the soundtrack in 05, and then they just seemingly divert from the plan.
Upset. I won't say that I allowed myself to reach the point of being upset, but of course, throughout the process, and sometimes it was a lack of appreciation for the way it was going. However, before I can have expressed any lack of appreciation, I was always being bombarded with like sentiments and expressions of from 50 explaining why it was going that way and why it wouldn't really stop nothing that we were actually planning on. So, of course, at certain times I didn't understand it, probably didn't appreciate it, but I never allowed it to really get me to the point of being upset or adjusting or affecting the way I approached the situation. I just took it on the chin.
Finesse, welcome back, bro.
Mm-hmm. No, I said I'm not gonna lie. I'm good with what Berg asked him. I would have wanted to know that right there. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, but y'all can imagine I'm a real nigga because, of course, some of that shit was confusing as it started switching up. But when I was comparing it to what I was just coming from, and I was keep getting confirmation that it was going to shape up correct, I didn't let none of it bother me. Like, it's all good. Fuck it, whatever.
Yo, I got another question for you, though, Lo. You think, like, around the time, like, you was on your wave and shit, the gang shit, do you think that was, like, holding you back a little bit? Because nobody else was really on no gang. You think that was, like,
Definitely not from. I don't think it was from a point of showing it or marketing it, the image. But what a lot of people not aware of, my actual affiliation really, really, I believe, played a part to a deep level because a lot of things that came up as far as certain of my homies catching cases to where their bail was 10.5 million. They end up receiving life sentences. And when you go to the paperwork and the whole process, G Unit was mentioned a whole lot. I can't imagine before all them cases was executed, 50 wasn't never tapped on the shoulder at LAX. A lot of things, that people are not quite aware of was taking place with me personally. that I believe caused him to step back on my mama. That's why I'm be so surprised why he tried to sum it up with some simple bullshit when I know it was way more to it than that. I know he bit off more than he can chew when it came to like, damn, I didn't know all this was gonna be taking place. And it's a lot of shit saved for another day that I could go into depth about that I think kind of caused him to. It was a lot of shit took place before he even signed the vitamin water deal that I could imagine Chris Lottie was telling him maybe need to step back from that a little bit. Yeah.
I got one more question for the loc before we go, cuz. Any advice? All three of them are rappers. Any advice to them as far as the shit that they don't see about the game that you not that you already explained, but the shit that can change with the game being so different now with the internet.
I'm gonna tell you, this is what I've learned from being active with YouTube and companies like DistroKid and TuneCore. There, when you conduct business correctly these days, there is no room or no need for feelings or emotion. I've had very successful runs with the companies I just named, receiving money, paying taxes, getting a profit. And I've never spoken to a human being that represents any of those companies. So when you deal with the entertainment business, even when you are dealing with humans, if you can program yourself to eliminate your emotions and your feelings, you can get to the bottom line of what you're trying to find way faster. Emotions and feelings and preconceived ideas are they're obstacles, they're deterrents. The most successful business I've handled is with YouTube, DistroKid, and TuneCore, and I've never met a human being to represent either of those companies. So, in order to do my business with them, I've had to eliminate my feelings, and everything is about the bottom line, the facts. And that's the best advice I can give to a nigga right now. Get your feelings out of there, get your emotions out of there, and approach that shit from a non-personal perspective.
That's what business is about.
Oh, my mama.
So, Loke, I want you to let everybody know how they can get in contact with you. For everyone that's watching right now, you can hit the link pinned and go right to Spider Loke. Go to right
for
to
all
Spider.
for all serious business inquiries and all sincere expressions of appreciation, you can locate me on Instagram at Spiderlook Most Easty, that number 7. Hit my DM. If you're just trying to tap in from the outside in and see what we got going on, the most active place to catch me is on youtube.com/Spiderlook Most Easty. That's where the black box go up, and we just keep it cracking. Appreciate you, Mikey T. I appreciate the whole platform. Much love to all y'all.
Yo, I overly appreciate you joining us today, man.
Indeed.
I said since we rapping, Berg, since to let them know if from you got an MC point of view, spit the verse to let them know you fire.
Yeah, spit something, Berg. Spit
Verse.
something for the people.
Spit a verse. I said, I said I gave niggas a style to mimic, but they don't gotta thank me. Louis Hanky, quite frankly, I am flawless. Like the VS stones that shine on my pinky. I'm a new era like the sign on my Yankee. Point blankly fire, neck or higher. Spit the truth, cause niggas won't respect the liar. Flyer than the eagle illegally paid. Got knocked, beat the case with illegal aid. Shade couldn't stop my glow. Sour got my dough. The Hoover Dam couldn't stop my flow. Whoa. I keep a 40 cal high in the ghetto, Patron and Amaretto, high as a stiletto. My jewels get me cool, but I'm hotter than Tucson. But niggas waiting on me to fold like a futon. I'm getting hard bread, I call it croutons. Move pit from Autobahn to Yukon, DuPont registry shopper, grand bagger, swagger proper, flow hard as copper, chopper dagger. Don't matter, I be glad to leave an open wound from your neck to your bladder, shatter every bone. Bury him in Nevada. Started at the bottom, moved up on the ladder. Your bitch bad, but my bitch badder. Pussy a little tighter, ass a bit fatter. Nowadays, my rhymes is hard as the times is in Guinea. With niggas that kill you over a penny. Revolver in the semi. Coming down your chimney, I'm eating. But I want more like Demi. That sport Range Rover look overtook the game. I flow hard so they won't overlook my name. No flaws, so my diamonds don't look the same as yours. Too fast for slow horse. Niggas change like a cucumber to a pickle. I guess they never learn until they in the urn. 4 or 5 nickel plated. Everywhere I walk, cause the way I talk make niggas want to stick you. But on the other hand, dimes want to lick you when the candy pours. She go deep like she Randy Moss.
Oh, see, I would imagine the reason why I'm not familiar with that verse because that's dope as fuck.
Well, yo,
Nah,
I
that
think
was him. That was him,
Berg.
Spider.
That was him, Berg. That was Berg, Spider.
That shit hard, homie. I was trying to come in represent for Nas since I stomped everybody. That was hard. I swear to God, I thought you was spitting the Nas verse I never heard on my mama. And I'm gonna say this myself, like, I swear to God, I ain't trying to gas you, homie. I'm thinking like, that's some of the hardest shit Nas ever said.
That's hilarious.
Oh my mama, homie, on God in heaven. But just cause I gotta go. I just want to do, since y'all New York niggas couldn't do it for him, I just want to say, what up, kid? I know shit is rough doing your bid. When the time came, you should have slid to my crib. Fucking black. No time for looking back. It's done. Plus, congratulations. You know you got a son. I heard he looked like you. Why don't your lady write you? Told her she should visit. That's when she got hyper, flipping. Talk about he abs too rough. He doesn't listen. He be tripping when I'm telling him stuff. I was like, yeah, shorty don't care. She a snake too. Fuck with them niggas from that fake crew that hate you. But guess who got shot in the Dome's piece? Jerome's niece. On the way home from Jones Beach is Bug. Plus of the robbers selling drugs on the dime. Hanging out with young thugs that all carry nines. At nighttime is more tripe than ever. What up, Paul Mecca? Did you see him? Are y'all together? If so, hold the fort down to the fullest. Say what's up to Herb, Ice, and Bullet. I left for half 100 in your commissary. You was my nigga when push came to shove. One love. On God,
One
homie.
love. One
You was on.
love.
That's
One
the
love.
Everybody, go follow Spider Loke right now. The link is pinned.
appreciate you. Shout out to Mikey T, the whole panel. I can't read the homie name. Bang Bucks, you got bars. Nigga, much love.
Berg Bucks.
Bucks.
Spider, what time are you going live tonight? Let everybody that's watching, let everybody know watching.
For the day, I ain't getting down tonight. I'll probably get down tomorrow or the next day. Much love.
All right, salute Spider.
One love. One love.
How about that shit? Oh,
Nah, that shit was
that
fire.
I was
Nah,
like,
One Love is
Stream is
hard.
going live today.
One Love was fire.
Hey yo, what they saying about? Hey, what they say? Hey yo, everything nice, bird but twice. Hey yo, who about to rap? Is your go, Des? I want to rap.
Finesse, it's your turn, bro. Finesse, it's on you, bro. Let's go. Let's go.
I said, life is a game you can't play with. Ain't no restarting this like that GTA shit. Look, you acting like it's Thanksgiving. You still ain't got a house to live in or a pot to piss in. Stop bullshitting. You gotta be kidding. You living with mommy. I know we wanted the Nina, but I give them the Tommy. You niggas behind me. They're one of you bitches to line me. Matter of fact, I've been out of that trap. Can't find me. I live in the burbs. You live on the curb. Little fly bum ass nigga go live with the birds. I give him some words, but only in the rap. You always taking pics, but only in the trap, looking lonely in the back. These new niggas is phony and they whack. It's the rock. I rock bottom jabronis on the track. That's a fact. This is when you know me to be whack. Screaming free me when I'm gone, but don't know me when I'm back. That's cat. Keep that same energy. The ones who thought was friends, they became enemies. These human centipedes crawling around, ass to mouth, kissing ass for clout. I don't even know what that's about. For a while, I had my own nigga on my own nigga. I don't play with nobody kids. I'm grown, nigga. You living in the glass house and throwing stones, nigga. That's what I call a broken home, nigga. Look, I came a long way from the P's on some G shit. The only roach around that I see is a weed clip. If you can't protect your shit, I'll advise you not to protect your wrists or get diamond necklaces. The goons pull up and Texas spit. You get left, your neck a twist like the exorcist. Who give a fuck about your Yeezys? You at home eating TV dinner.
Finesse, we lost you. We lost you. You got to log back in, I think. I think we lost Finesse. Or am I tripping?
Yeah.
We lost Finesse.
His shit went silent.
Yeah,
Big homie said fire.
Log back in, Finesse. Your shit just went out, bro.
Fire, fire.
Hell yeah. So I got a poll up right now for Finesse and Iceberg. Berg Bucks. Finesse. Dice, you got something for us?
Let's go. Put that shit. Let's go.
Let's go. Dice is on deck. Let's go. Get it.
Listen, I said, and tell him I ain't giving no speech. I ain't speaking unless that money talking for me. I ordered the 100 bottles. Them bitches gonna bring it to me. And everybody drinking. It's a celebration. Let's toast to the fact we traveling on private transportation. G5 flying. I don't hear you haters up here. Been trying to stay grounded, but it's hard because I'm in air. Yeah, a young nigga, I'll be back collecting. Everything frozen like bad connection. 16 in my pocket, no adolescent, no need to add aggression. I see you running after the money the wrong way, nigga. Who gave you bad directions? SMD, no spell correction. Wait, you gotta watch out for these hoes because they try to trap you. Like how Eve ate the fruit, but now it's Adam's apple. We still winning a race, you let us double lap you. I need a fucking statue in the middle of Manhattan just to piss these niggas off like a public bathroom that make me double tap you. And lately we've been getting the money, these niggas ain't doing the same. They say they are, but they ain't doing the thing. Nigga, is gang. What we talking about? Berg, Buck, Finesse, Mikey T, the movie star. Oh, we in this motherfucking bed.
Hell yeah, man. Dope, man. That's what we're going to start doing. We're going to start showcasing the bars more on here. You know, we talk.
Yeah, I got to write something every week now for Mikey T. You the new
New
clue.
shit every week.
You the new clue, you heard?
Oh, shit. Right. We about to have all the dope spitters on the show because, you know, there's a lot of Queens artists that I actually be messing with that Dice and Berg and Finesse have all put me in contact with. So expect a lot more. Spider Loke has got Buck. Yeah, hell yeah, I agree with Spider Loke. I think
that nigga better be.
He thought that was shit. He because that's the challenge he was putting forth. But when he was logging in, he missed that. Dice was telling him, "Yo, Berg, spit your shit now that you spit some of the."
Yeah, he missed that. He thought it was Nas.
Yeah.
Yo, Mikey T, remember when I told you my top 10? Yeah, all right.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, run that back.
My top 10. Remember I said something about my top 10? Yeah, okay.
Run that back.
Oh, we ain't gonna go through all that.
It's the end of the stream. Now we can go through it.
Yo, they was up there. Dice in there too.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, no, that's fact. Berg, Finesse, you guys were not here, but put you as 9 and 10.
I was here.
Oh, you was here, Ness? Okay, yeah, you missed one on us, Ness. Everybody was like, where the hell did Ness go?
Ain't no more backwards.
Shout out to Spider Loke.
Yeah, major shout. Oh, we had a couple of questions.
Spider-Man.
We got to talk about this one, guys, because we got a super chat. I appreciate you, Ant. Spider.